What's up, family? Jared the Bossman here. You're tuned into the Bossman Show on AM 1010, AM 1430, 1055 The King. Check The King out at 105theking.com and the Bossman Show at bossmanshow.com. Hit me up on Instagram, The Bossman Show, Twitter at Bossman Show, and Facebook, Bossman Show. It's the Bossman on your radio.
Listen to the Bossman Show with your host, JR, Saturdays at 9 a.m. right here on AM 1010, The King.
What's up, good people? BetOnline is your number one source for all your betting needs. The latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use your promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. Back on the Bossman Show, a friend of the show, Coach Dave Paulsen, now Holy Cross Crusaders. He went back home to his home in Massachusetts to coach this good team up there, Metro League. Coach, how you doing, man? Good to talk to you again.
Great to talk to you. I'm doing great. Beautiful day here in Worcester. We got a couple more days of summer school with our guys, and a little break before we go back on the road recruiting.
I hear that, Coach. You know, I saw your old guy, Keith Ergo, this week at Lake Point, man. Tell me about Ergo's energy, man. I've talked to the Lake Point, man. He fired up. Just want to go talk to him at the event, another Army event this past weekend. Talk about work for him, his energy, what he's going to do before them going forward, man.
Well, you know, Ergo makes coffee nervous. He's so excitable, you know. I mean, he's just full of energy. And, you know, he's really – you know, I think Kyle Neptune did a phenomenal job of laying the foundation there for them, you know, and then Keith just took it the next steps, you know. He's got so much energy that it's impossible for the guys on the team to not play with a similar level of energy. Like, you know, we can't be showing up by this guy, right? And then, you know, in addition to the energy, he's just got an unshakable belief in the guys, and they know it, they feel it. So I think he was able this year to get more out of the team and more out of each individual player than what, you know, quote unquote experts might have predicted, right? Because they just, you know, belief, you know, to quote Ted Lasso, belief is a powerful thing. And so I think Ergo's done an unbelievable job. And the atmosphere at Fordham home games, when we got the conference play, I don't know if you've seen video of it. I mean, unbelievable electric atmosphere. It's a small gym. Because of that, the students camped out, waited in line for 2 hours to get in the gym. They had a DJ in the quad. Guys all came in. They took their shirts off. They called them the shirtless herd. It was an awesome atmosphere. So it was a ton of fun being around Fordham program for the last couple of years.
100%, and then you get to come Holy Cross, a great job in the league, one of the best jobs in the league, in my opinion. So me, there's an opportunity to really kind of stuck with you to want to go up there, come back home, and take over this program and help get this team to winning Petro League titles again, try to beat Matt Langle up there at Colgate.
Yeah. Me and 8 other coaches trying to figure out how to beat Langle. You know, he's certainly he and his staff and the guys there at Colgate has certainly set the standard. But we're going to go right after them, as will other teams in our league, and it should be exciting.
100%, Coach. Talk about hiring a high quality staff, man. How important that is to have a great staff around you who knows what you're trying to look for, who's loyal to you and loyal to your vision and mission for this program, and to help the young men become better on and off the court.
Yeah, I think it's so important. It's the first thing that I really focused on. The first thing I did when I got the job, well, simultaneously, the two guys I knew that I wanted for sure to get locked in here. One was to retain RJ Evans, and RJ was a great player at Holy Cross. Was also an academic All-Patriot League guy, so he understands the Patriot League. He loves Holy Cross. Now, the day I came on campus, he reminded me that he dropped 31 against my Bucknell team when he was a freshman, and he showed me a picture of him with a ball where he just throwing at me, kind of raising my fist, all angry. And despite that, I still hired him. But
you're a good man for that.
yeah. But he's been phenomenal, and he's a great mentor to these guys. He's a great ambassador for Holy Cross. And I like to say, no job for him is too big, no job is too small. So he's if you didn't know any better, you would think that RJ had been a part of one of my staffs for 10 years, as opposed to 10 days, and so just really been a seamless transition. And then the next thing was, to try to hire Bryson Johnson back on my staff as my associate head coach. Bryson was the all-time leading Patriot League three-point shooter at Bucknell. The best player I coached at Bucknell was Mike Muscala, who's still in the NBA. But the most important player I coached was Bryson, because he really set the tone with his energy, with his leadership. He did a phenomenal job for me at George Mason. Went to Vermont, where they went to American East Championships and went to the NCAA tournament. And so I was really happy and fortunate to be able to bring him back. And then Ted Rawlings, who had been with me as my director of operations for 3 years at George Mason, and sent him out to get recruiting and coaching experience at the Division I level at Texas A&M Commerce. And he was there as a transition from Division II to Division I. They did a phenomenal job. And he's as hard a worker as I've ever been around. Unbelievably organized, loyal. So it's a great staff. They're great teachers and coaches and mentors and recruiters, and they complement each other. And I think that's what's important. You don't want to just go get – there were so many guys who have been so good as assistant coaches who I wasn't able to hire, but because it's like the composition and the chemistry and the makeup and the strengths and weaknesses kind of working together. I'm really excited about the group.
So, sir, you mentioned Mike Muscala. I call him Musk. We put here with the Hawks, man. I used to cover him, but it's because I do the Hawks where I cover when I'm not doing a radio show. What about Mike Muscala, man, and seeing what Muskie's done? He's Atlanta Hawks best second round draft pick in a long time. We don't do second round picks very well. He's the best one we ever had. Let's talk about Mike Muscala, what we call Muskie around here, man.
So we called him Moose, okay? So that was what we called him. He was the Moose Man. And people would make like little moose horns when he knocked down shots at Bucknell. And, it's just so cool to see a guy, that, really we were the first Division I scholarship offer at Bucknell. And, he wasn't highly recruited. He wasn't a sneaker circuit thing. And I had him at Bucknell, and it was halfway through, the fall of his freshman year. I'm like, oh my God, we got something here. Because in addition to the skill and the size and the ability to touch, he was relentlessly competitive. He wasn't the strongest kid, but he was so uber competitive. And every year we'd come back and say, okay, here's one or two things you got to add to your game. And he would do it. A lot of people talk about it. He would do it. And for him to spend, he's finished 10 years in the NBA, and he shows so much character because there's times where he's played a big role. He had a pretty big role when he's with the Hawks. He had a pretty big role when he's with the Sixers. But he was with OKC, and they were in a rebuild, and they wanted to play younger guys. And, I know talking to Mark Dagnall, the coach at OKC, he just loved him because he was so professional. He's such a leader, such a great locker room presence. So, I think we talk to our guys all the time about be a star in your role, whatever that role is. And that's what Mike has embodied. And 10-year NBA veteran, that's pretty good.
Yes, indeed. I was hoping that he would play some when it was against the Hawks in the playoffs, but Joe didn't play him. But it was good to see him because I covered him and I know him very well from we covered him with the team. So I was happy to see him and Al Horford on the same team, by the way. It was with Boston,
Yep.
Two guys who I covered here with the Hawks when they was here representing the Atlanta Hawks.
Yep. Great guys.
Now, Coach Westgis, man, how has the workouts been for you guys? Getting your guys to establish your culture, establish how you do things. How much has been put in star versus working on their games and individual to get them ready for fall here?
It's been a blend. So we've certainly been working on individual skills with them because I think that's just the building block. And this is the time when you can get better as an individual player. But we have tried to install some things offensively, just for some concepts, so that they understand. I think defense is most important, but offense is the most intricate, right? And so, I tell them all the time, don't get the wrong impression. We haven't worked a lot on our defense because trust me, we're going to be doing it every day come the fall. But the nuances and the intricacies of playing offense and playing off of each other and being able to read and react, this is a good time to do it. And it also has enabled me to get a better sense of, okay, what do I have here? And who are going to be our guys that, we can really rely on. And then they go home. Now they've got 6 weeks to work on some stuff. And then I've got 6 weeks to really, in more detail, when I can finally take a breath, say, okay, now let's plan for the season. Now I have a pretty good idea of what I have to work with. Now, how do we want to structure everything offensively and defensively?
100%, Coach. And Coach, how much do you mix in showing the guys clips of the NBA on Synergy to kind of show guys who they can play like and who got guys they can emulate so they can be better on the court in their roles, and we say start in their roles that you may envision for them to have going forward?
Well, you know what? We'll do that more during the season. But what we have done is in our 6 weeks, we have 5 pillars of our program, our core values. And the first week, we had the assistant coaches present on those pillars. And then the other 4 weeks, we just finished up last night, 3 or 4 guys on the team, they presented the whole team about the pillars and what does it mean on offense and what does it mean on defense and what's the definition, what's it mean in the community. And we would really encourage them, go get clips. And so there are a lot of clips of Draymond Green and talking and communication, or Kobe Bryant in terms of toughness or relentlessness, or just, Kyle Lowry, how many charges he takes, and guys diving on the floor for loose balls. And Kobe, they're winning by 30, and he turns the ball over and runs the guy down and blocks his shot, So we really, more than the style of play, we try to show them or have them show each other clips from the NBA of guys buying into these values that are the precursor to having any kind of sustained success on the court.
I think Coach Paulsen, the NBA Finals with Denver and Miami embodies all what we're discussing. Those two teams that are on the court playing the right way defensively, playing hard, game plan, discipline, all the things that you want a basketball team to be. I feel like Denver and Miami embody what you want a team to be. There's truly two teams who are about winning in all costs. It's been about team, been selfless, doing what's best for the team, not myself.
Yeah, there's no question. And, one of the things that I try to do is give NBA terms to stuff we're doing. And so some of the offensive concepts where we kind of play through a small ball 5. So we could either call it Jokic or Bam. And we just went with Bam because it's one syllable. It's easier for me to yell out. But we did talk about that. We watched a couple of times. We get some pizza and don't tell our nutritionist, but maybe some wings up here in the office and watch some of the NBA finals together. Just team bonding. But, and then so I'm like, hey, what's that? Oh, that's the lay action. Oh, yeah, well, that's what we run. Just to like, oh, yeah, so they can see, oh, that's some of the stuff that, the Heat's running for Denver. That's what we're doing as well.
Yes, it's so beautiful to watch, and it's good that your young men are getting to see that. And for you, Coach Paulsen, with this new transfer portal NIL world, how does it affect you in the Patriot League? Because I know when you might get guys good after a while, and the big boys come calling for them, try to train those guys and show them that, hey, if you can play well, the scouts will find you. You might go to Power Five school, you become off the bench, then you won't get drafted or get looked at all.
I'm going to have him talk to you, okay? Because that's the pitch, right? Well, there's two things to it. One is, Holy Cross is a top 30 small liberal arts college in America. This is a transformational experience academically. It's got an alumni network that is second to none. And so really, and we're going to see what we can do in the NIL space, but our guys' NIL comes when they graduate. Okay, because they're going to get unbelievable jobs. What Holy Cross basketball alums are doing is nothing short of mind-numbing how successful they've been. And so we can show them that. And in the recruitment process, you want guys not just to come for the basketball, but to come for the totality of the experience and really be, enmeshed on this campus. But by the same token, when I coach in the Patriot League, in 1 year, we had two guys drafted, C.J. McCollum and Mike Muscala. And I coached for 6 years in the A-10. We never had two guys drafted from the A-10 at the same year. So you're right. If you could play, they're going to find you. And I think you get better taking the game-winning shot. And if you miss it, coach calls your number again. And there's been plenty of studies. I think the average, every average guy who transfers, every time he transfers up kind of one level, his points per game going down by like 4 or 5 points per game. His usage rate, according to Synergy, goes down a high percentage. His minutes are reduced by 10 to 15%. So like, the grass is not always green. And I know because I did that same thing, and went to the A-10 as a coach. And I know how fulfilled and happy, excited I was coaching in the Patriot League. And so I could kind of use my own tale as a cautionary tale as well.
100%, because I know my alma mater, Tennessee State, Robert Covington's still in the NBA. John Morant out of OVC. So all these guys who from small colleges, they even little out of the Weaver State. So if you can play, I feel like I'd rather be a guy in a 1B league on a small little mid-major team where I can show myself every night to the scouts. Whether I'm come off the bench, whether it's playing, I make a mistake, I get a quick look. I'd rather do it this way, do it that way.
Absolutely.
And Coach, one more for you, man. So I know you're a Massachusetts guy, man. So let me ask you this, man. How are you feeling about your Red Sox and Patriots, man? How you feeling about them, man? How you feeling going for the rest of the summer, man?
Well, the Red Sox have not been, performing quite like what we want. All right. But there's still time. And, I grew up in Wisconsin, spent a lot of time in Massachusetts, but I became a Red Sox fan in 1975 when Fred Lynn was Rookie of the Year and the MVP. And I've been a Red Sox fan ever since. So I got belief in them. And I know the Patriots are going to be good. And, what I'm just hoping is our women's lacrosse coach is Amanda Belichick. So I'm hoping she's going to be able to, give me some tickets to some Patriots games, maybe some sideline passes. But I know they're going to be right back there in the thick of things.
Now, Coach, it's hard for me to talk to my Uncle David, who lives in West Peabody, right outside of Boston. He gives me heck about what happens, Bo. He only let me live it down, man.
Okay.
Like, Uncle Dave, come on, man. Like, can we not bring us up today?
Yeah. That's funny.
Uncle wears me out about this. I say, that's why I don't come see you. When the Hawks play the Celtics, I don't come see you. For that reason right there. That's why
Well, the people in Massachusetts know how to give each other a hard time. That's for sure. They've been masters at it before Sam Adams was a beer. All right.
Yes, indeed. Coach Paulsen, good to talk to you again, man. I'll be cheering for you. Can't do this game with you real soon, Coach. I always love our chats, man.
All right. Thank you so much. You guys have a great night.
See you, Coach. Thank you, man.
Take care. Bye-bye.
What's up, good people? BetOnline is your number one source for all your betting needs. The latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use your promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online where the game starts. What's up, family? Jared the Bossman here. You're tuned into the Bossman Show on AM 1010, AM 1430, 1055 The King. Let the King out at 105theking.com and the Bossman Show at bossmanshow.com. Hit me up on Instagram, the Bossman Show, Twitter at Bossman Show, and Facebook, Bossman Show. It's the Bossman on your radio.
Listen to the Bossman Show with your host, JR, Saturdays at 9 a.m. right here on AM 1010, The King.